Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning. It's Timmy Pacioretty coming to you from my fun little office here where we're going to do some great chalking together, I hope. So thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a great morning already. Nice and sunny here in Connecticut. As a matter of fact, I had to put a little towel over my window so that we wouldn't have a major glare during our time together today. If you're just coming on in, be sure to say hi. I always love to know who is here with us. If you have never heard of Chalk Couture before and you have just happened upon me, I would love for you to put a number 1 in the comments and tell us where you're coming in from. It's always fun to know where our viewers are all coming in from, because I have found that we really attract people from all over the country and even in Canada too. So it's awesome to have you all here. I'm just going to take a minute here and make sure I can see all your comments, because I love when you interact with me and share a bit about what's happening with you. It's one of the fun ways that I get to interact without ever leaving my house. So it's great to have you here. Again, my name is Timmy, and I am coming to you again with a project using our same transfer that we've used the past couple of projects. And I'm doing that because, sorry, I'm going to turn off my volume on my computer. There we go, so I don't hear myself twice. We're doing that because I want to help answer the question that I hear often, which is how many times can I use my transfer? And is there a life to them? And I would say absolutely yes, there is a life to them, but you have a lot of opportunity to get some good use into it before that life goes away. So I'm just going to put my website address here right at the top left-hand corner. So in case you want to check out any of the products that I'm using and grab them for yourself, you can do that right on my website. But really today is all about using this welcome. Oops, I'm going to try to fix my screen here. Give me one more minute. It's all about using our monthly transfer, which this month is Welcome to Our Home, which you might have seen if you've watched me before, and putting it on an entirely new surface, changing it up a little, and really figuring out, is there a life to this transfer? Like, is it just always looking the same, or can we really change it up? So if you haven't had a chance to see some of the other options that I have shown, please feel free to check those out on this page. They will be there and available for you, and you can see how I did each of them. So, of course, this is not the design that we're going to use, but it is the surface that we're going to use. This is a surface that you can actually purchase through my website. It's a Chalk Couture surface. We provide lots of different kinds of surfaces that you can use to chalk on. This happens to be a chalkboard surface. Yep, you heard that right. It's a chalkboard surface. A lot of people, when they look at this, don't realize that it's actually erasable, just like a black chalkboard surface is. In this case, it's a white chalkboard surface. It is called our Odette board, and it's got a black curved rim, and you can use it horizontally or vertically. Today we're going to use it vertically, and I have a design on here already that is vertical. Just so you know, on the back, there are hanging tools here for really meant for it to be horizontal, but I just put a few little, these little Velcro strips, these awesome things, and I use those. I have a spot on my front door that has a window kind of 2/3 of the way through, and then there's a wood section in here that's narrow that I always want to put some kind of design on, and this board is perfect for that. So I just use one of those little command strips. Now, before we get started, of course, and use this board, we have to actually erase what's already on it. So I want to just share with you really how fast and easy that is. Hey, I see Gail has joined us this morning. Good morning, Gail. Nice to have you. If you're watching on the replay, definitely pipe in. Let me know what you think. This is actually a retired design, or humble and kind. We do have a whole bee line, however. It's called the Bee's Knees Chalk Story Collection, and I may even add a few bees to my design this morning. But basically, in order to remove a previous design that we've created on a chalkboard surface, all you need to do is spray it with water or use a wet board eraser. So this is a board eraser that I have available here for you on my website. And they come in a 2-pack. They're great because they really do clean up the surface very well. They're actually specially formulated for our surfaces. And so you can really ensure that you get a really good, clean chalkboard. See how beautiful that's cleaning right up. Even these dark colors, when I use the black, no worries, it's going to come right up off the board. So you can spray it first, or you can just simply keep your board eraser wet. Doesn't really matter. We actually have come out with a brand new tool called a paste scraper. Mine are on order. I haven't received them yet, but I have seen a few people demonstrate how they work. And what you would do is you would spray your board like I just did with our Mister bottle here, and this is just filled with water. You can put regular water or distilled water in it, your choice. And then you use the paste scraper, and the paste scraper is a nylon tool, and it will pull up all of the paste in kind of a chunk. You can then throw that out and then use your board eraser just to clean up the residue. So that will actually expand the life a little bit of your board erasers. And not only are these board erasers really great for cleaning up your boards, obviously they're called a board eraser, so they're great for that, but they're also really good for cleaning up our transfers. Now, you're going to hear me talk about the fact that, of course, we can use our transfers over and over again. And the reason why that is true is because they're actually an adhesive back silkscreen fabric mesh. So they are washable up with water, and then you can just simply reuse them over and over again. Up to about 8 to 10 times is what Chalk Couture officially recommends. I have to say that I have definitely found that I rarely throw out a transfer. I did actually throw one out yesterday when my friend Barbara was here talking with me, and that's because it definitely had gotten past its use and it wasn't really providing as clean a design as I would have liked. So I removed it, but it definitely had been past its 8 to 10 times. So I definitely got my use out of it, but no sense getting frustrated when things aren't actually coming out as perfectly as you like. So I just simply got rid of it. So see, super easy to clean it up. To dry it off, I actually just use the microfiber side of our fuzzing cloth. This fuzzing cloth has 2 sides, one side to fuzz the transfer, and that's simply to loosen the adhesive on the back of your transfer, add a little lint to it so that it makes it easier for you to pull it up on your chalkboard surface. And then the other side is that microfiber side. So it's also a good drying cloth, so I usually tend to keep it nearby and rest my transfers on it once I've washed them up with water, and that way I can just go ahead and once they're air dry, put them back right on the backer sheet. Now, the transfer that we're going to be using today is going to be familiar to you if you've been watching me before. It is our Club Couture transfer of the month. So every month we come out with an exclusive transfer that is just for our Club Couture subscribers. And of course, anybody can become a Club Couture subscriber. All you need to do is just head over to my Chalk Couture website and click on the club link and you can learn all about it. But basically, it's $19.99 a month. You get an exclusive transfer like this one. As a surprise, comes in your mailbox each month at the beginning of the month, and 3 coordinating chalk paste singles. Now, when you first sign up, by the way, if you're wondering what it is, do I put this on? We actually have an awesome little kickstart kit, we call it, where you can purchase a few extra tools and surfaces and supplies to use with your Club Couture subscription. So that is a really great little extra bonus that you can pick up. And let me just show you what that looks like here. Whoop, let's see if I can do that. Ah, you just saw me fully instead, right? So we want to get rid of these 2 for a minute. I don't know if I can. It's being picky on me here. I gotta do this, that's why. Let's see. Okay, that's gone. This is up. Okay, there you go. So that's the quick start kit, just so that you know what it looks like. And in that quick start kit comes our 9x12 8-inch chalkboard, 2 board erasers that you just saw me using, a squeegee, a multi-tool, a board and base, and a full 3-ounce white chalk paste container. So you can pick that up just when you become a subscriber. It's the only time that it's available. It's also the only time you can pick up the current month's transfer. So if you want this one, you have to subscribe in February. Your subscription won't officially start until March, but you can add on this month's transfer. So that's how you can get that. Hey Dawn, welcome. It's great to have you here. Now, when we did this last time, we were talking about whether or not this is something that we could use to create vertically. When you get this transfer, and let me just show you again for a quick peek here what that looks like. When you get this transfer delivered to you, it's going to look like this. It's actually one piece where the H and the O and the M and the E are all together. I chose to cut mine, and I cut it because I was working on it horizontally, and I just found that was easier. So I wanted to be able to try it vertically. And sorry, that's why it was easier to cut it. I wanted to do it vertically. So I'm just going to take my fuzzing cloth here. I'm going to turn it onto the fuzzing side and just take a minute here and fuzz the back of this transfer again. And that's just really allowing me to loosen the adhesive a little bit so that when I go to pick up this transfer, it's going to come up really easily from my design. Now, the only areas that are going to get chalked are the white that you're showing through here. The rest of this green, is the adhesive. So that is what's keeping the transfer in place. I think it's going to be easiest. Good morning, Carrie. I think it's going to be easiest to place all my items down first. And then, notice I didn't fuzz that one. Forgot. It's not really the end of the world. We have used this transfer, as you know, several times. I think 5 or 6 times so far already. So I am not too worried about stretching this transfer and pulling it up inadvertently. So fuzzing becomes kind of less and less important as you've used this over and over. So last time when we used our welcome to our, we put it through the wreath, but today I really want to get some color on my wreath. So I think I'm going to place this right up here, and I think it just fits perfectly. So that's kind of my plan about how I'm going to place all of these together. And the colors I'm going to use today are a little bit different as well. I have our Pesto, which is kind of a pretty green. I thought this would be really a nice springy green for our wreath. We also have some little berries to add on, and today I'm going to use our Daffodil for that. And then I have my gold and shimmer, and my black chalk paste. So what I need to decide is if I am going to use black for my letters or my gold, and then maybe use the welcome to our home as a different offsetting color. So I haven't quite decided that yet, so I'm going to be thinking that through. If you have a vote, let me know. I always love to get your opinions and thoughts about what you think might work best. And the other thing that I think I'm going to do, just to ensure that this spacing is kind of spot on, is I'm actually going to start from the bottom with the E. So I'm going to move these all off and put them on side here. We can do that. That's not a problem. And none of these really are going to overlap with each other, so it's no problem putting them all down. But I'm going to just go one by one just to kind of make my life a little bit simpler. I also want to give you a little trick. Since I cut this, you can see that the E here is pretty close to the edge of the end of our transfer. And we might be a little nervous about that because we might not want to go outside the lines. Now, because this is a chalkboard surface, if you do go outside the lines, really no worries, you can easily fix it. But if you want a little extra security, you can actually just use some placement tape And this is available also on my website. And just give yourself a little extra wiggle room. So this will pull up really easily, no problem. Well, you know what, Carrie? You can always get the O monogram letter, but it would be a little bit big, definitely, for this particular transfer. I actually created a home sign using our monogram letters, so H-O-M-E. So that is something that you could do. Yeah, definitely. That's a great idea. Lots of font options and choices. But yeah, they don't have one that necessarily is going to match this one perfectly, I don't think. But I'll check that out for you. Might just. Okay, I think I'm going for black. And I think the welcome to our home, I'm going to use the gold. But I really want my letters, I think, to pop. So that's my decision here, since I didn't get any votes from all of you guys. And open up, of course, just give it a little stir. We've used this black chalk paste, and it's almost at the end, but there is still plenty more, so don't fret. I'm going to use my little mini squeegee here, and then simply we are just pulling the chalk paste across the surface of the screen. Now, if you're watching for the first time, thing to know is that this is not paint. It's actually a paste that's made out of chalk. So you're not really painting it on, you're just spreading it. So kind of like buttering your toast, right? You just want to scrape off all that extra butter, or in this case, chalk paste, and that will make sure that you get a nice clean finish. So here we go. The best part, the peel and the reveal. So every single time it comes out perfect. Now I have a little water bath here next to me. You can't see that, but that's where I have put in my transfer. And I'll just let it sit in that water until we finish up our live, and then I will just go ahead and wash it up. So simple, simple. So what are you guys up to this beautiful Saturday? Is it nice where you are? Are you going to be spending some time with family? Are you going to be getting out and doing some errands? What's on your list today? I don't know if any of you know or have this in your areas where you are, but axe throwing has become kind of a thing here, and probably has been a thing out west and in the south for a long time, right? But we have a new one that just opened up next to us, not too far from us. I'm trying to get a group of friends to do some axe throwing. Christy, it's snowing where you are. It was a little snowy here last night. Kind of took me a little bit by surprise. Was not expecting it. Went out to have dinner with my daughter after she finished work and do a little shopping. And it got icy. Thankfully, my Jeep held up its bargain and did well, and we were able to navigate home with no problems. But yeah, I think that it wants to be spring here in New England, and I know I totally just jinxed myself by saying that, because there's a saying here in New England. If you're from New England, you'll know this, and the saying is, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute and it'll change. So I'm guessing it is going to change. So Dawn, you've been axe throwing, huh? It is fun. We've been once and really had a good time. Tonight they're doing a special wing fest and axe throwing, and there might be a little beer involved. And I just thought that might be kind of a fun thing to do together with the fam and maybe some friends. So that's what we're thinking about doing. Now, if you noticed, I was a little quick to put this over the area where I had my E, and it pulled up a little bit of the paste. I can actually just put the transfer back over and correct that, or you know what, only I can see it, and I'm really not too worried about it. So we're going to ignore it for now. But definitely, if you wanted to fix that, and it's something that, you know, you really, it bothers you, because I know we have some folks out there that really, you know, like it to be absolutely perfect, then you can definitely just put that transfer right back over it and correct that little area. I think one of the awesome things about chalking, honestly, is that it doesn't have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, it looks better when it's not perfect. I often will actually take a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block and rough up my design a little, just because I like it to look a little bit more rustic. So, you know, that's totally up to you. It's your choice. It's your design. You can do it however you want, whatever makes your heart sing. That's one of the best things about Chalk Couture. And it's also one of the reasons, honestly, why I wanted to do this design yet again. You're probably like, oh my goodness, Timmy, do you have any other designs? And we do. We have so many. But I have kind of committed myself to showing you a lot of different ways that you can use the same transfer each week, so that you can be thinking about, you know, your own personal style and what works best for you. All right, so we've opened up the pesto and we're ready to use a brand new squeegee here, another mini. I like this mini one for this transfer because it's got just the perfect coverage area. And again, we are just making sure we don't go outside the lines here. And I just love like spreading this, squeegeeing it on. Now, one of the biggest things I think that new chalkers sometimes have a hard time with is knowing how much chalk paste to put on. So I usually, to start, add a little bit more than I need, and then use this squeegee to really squeegee off the excess. If you can see your design through your chalk paste, then you have cleaned off the right amount of paste. Oh, you know, I haven't used the green yet. In all of my design examples, I have not used the green, and that pesto is awfully cute. I love your chalking, Carrie. And you know what? I totally think it's so much fun when you don't get really hung up on it being totally perfect. It's supposed to be relaxing and fun, right? Not stressful. So I like that you can really just enjoy the experience without worrying about perfection. And of course, if you mess up, you can always erase it. That's what's really awesome about this. Now, I'm not sure that I was going to be as excited as I am about that pesto green, but it is just perfect for this wreath, and it definitely feels kind of rusticy, and I like that. When I first saw this board, I was a little concerned that it was a little too modern feeling for me, and I wasn't sure I was going to really love it. But I'm finding that depending on the colors that I use, I can really give it a flair that makes it look a little bit more vintagey, which is kind of my vibe. I like the vintagey vibe. So we're just going to put on our last letter here. And I'll tell you what, these transfers are still going strong. And that's a good thing, because I have one more that I definitely need to make as a prize for my friend Lisa, who joined a recent live and won one of the designs I created. But that one sold out. It sold out right from underneath me, so I have to make another one, and that's okay because I love to chalk, so no worries. And I definitely will have no problem getting another several uses out of this transfer, because it really is something that I can use over and over again, especially when I take good care of my transfers. And really, taking good care of your transfer really just means that you've washed it up with water, you either let it air dry, or you have given it a little bit of TLC and let it dry off with a cloth, and then put it back on its backer sheet until you're ready to reuse it again. It's really that simple, right? So here we go. We've got our H, we've got our wreath, we've got our M, and we've got our E. This wreath isn't quite dry yet, so I don't want to put my berries on it, but I do think we can definitely get our welcome to our home up here. And as we mentioned, it looks like we have enough room to get this in here. No problem. Now I usually, whoops, I'm going to bring it over a little to the right. I was laughing with my friend Barbara, who was here talking with me yesterday. Excuse me just a minute. I'm going to stand up. I am kind of, normally when I am chalking for pleasure, not that this isn't for pleasure, I don't mean to say that this isn't pleasure, but when I'm chalking at home for myself, I usually stand. because that usually helps give me a better eyeball. But it's hard to stand when I'm doing a live. So excuse me for that moment where I stood up and you saw my chest instead of my face. And here we go. Now this is our, if you have not seen our shimmer chalk paste before, this is awesome. They come in 3 options in shimmer: gold, silver, and copper. We did have a red for the holiday times, but that has gone away. But maybe it'll be back the next holiday season. But it is our chalk paste, but actually it's got glitter built into it. Now, if you are a glitter queen and love glitter, definitely these shimmer pastes are awesome. You do need to kind of give these a little bit extra oomph. In other words, a little harder push into the screen, just to make sure that that paste adheres, because the glitter can kind of get stuck in your screen a little. So make sure you give that a good clean after you finish. But if you don't have any of our shimmer paste, you can still, oh yeah, that's cute, love that. You can still use regular fine glitter that you have, and once you've pulled up your transfer, you can go ahead and add that fine glitter while your paste is still wet. Once it dries after a couple of minutes, then you can simply shake off the excess, use a little fine paintbrush, and that will remove the extra glitter from the outside. So that's it. Super easy, right? So let's see this. I'm touching it very gently here to see if it's dry. It is, so nothing's on my hand. So that means we're ready for the last part, which is these cute little berries, and they come as part of this transfer as well. So we can take these berries and place them where we want them to go. And I don't think there's any rhyme or reason about exactly where they have to go. I said I was going to use this really pretty yellow. It's called Daffodil. And as you can see, we have lots of color options to choose from. And I was trying to kind of stick with kind of the more vintagey farmhouse type color palettes for this one. So this is what got me excited today, this buttermilk. And I'm going to use our multi-tool, which is also a squeegee. It's great for when you're doing little fine detail work like this. So if you've started to chalk and you haven't grabbed one of these yet, definitely grab one. You'll love them. Now, this is not showing up super strongly on this, but that's okay. I don't know that I really wanted them to stand out. Now notice I am just picking them up and moving it and lifting it to put it right back over. I don't have to wash here in between. And we don't need a whole lot of chalk paste. As you can see, I'm pretty much using the same amount over and over again. There we go. So we've got a few little yellow berries in here. And if I give you a little quick preview here, a little close up, you can see those little berries. In this case, daffodil is the one we used. So a cute little bow. Of course, you know I love this little guy, which I still haven't used yet. I've got my farmhouse beads. Those would be kind of fun to add maybe to an embellishment. Or this cute little heart that I found during clearance time at Christmas. So you can do a lot of different little embellishments. If you are bee happy like me, which I totally am. Matter of fact, it's what I named my team of designers that work with me. We have a whole bee chalk story collection, as I told you about. And I even have a few bee options that might be kind of fun to add. So if I wanted to put on a little beehive in the middle, he'd be kind of cute. I have a little mini beehive here. I think that might be kind of fun to tie in and put maybe in gold. I'll put them right in the center there, I think. Bring a little bee in. And then I actually have a tiny bee that might be kind of fun to maybe put on the corner. I just want to make sure that that's dry before I stick this on here and make a mess. Let's see. So that seems about centered. I'm going to bring this gold back out. So that's the other thing to know about working with Chalk Couture is that you can mix and match transfers. You don't have to use the ones as they exactly are. And that's a great thing about being a Club Couture subscriber as well. Every month you get that new transfer, and you can actually mix and match elements from the different transfers to make your own unique designs. So that's one of the fun things, is I actually love to be able to think outside the box a little and add in some extra stuff along the way. So there we go. We got our little beehive in there. And if we wanted to add a little bee on here, we could as well. And this is all part of that Bee's Knees collection that you can take advantage of. So maybe I want to add a little yellow bee right here, using some of the yellow from that berries. Cute, cute. It doesn't stand out super much, but that's okay. I mean, I don't want them to necessarily overpower the look. And then same thing, I don't need to have to worry about cleaning this up. Got plenty of chalk paste there. So there we go. We've got a few little bees there floating around as well. And I think we are done. I actually have some really cute ribbon that has some bees on it that might be fun to use. So there we go. We've got our little beehive. We've got a few little bees floating around. And now I think it's totally ready to go on my front door. Add a little bow and we'll be set to go. So I hope you had fun watching about how it is that you can use our monthly transfer over and over again in lots of different ways. And if you're dying to grab this transfer, of course, you can absolutely get it, but you can only get it through the end of this month or until supplies last. You do need to sign up to be a Club Couture subscriber. So if you're not, be sure to hop on that bandwagon. You're going to really love the designs that come your way. I guarantee it. There's some great ones, and this has been one of the best so far. And just envision all the great ways that you can use it. If you didn't catch my first design, I think it's still one of my very, very favorites. Whoops, let's see. This is a pillow. So we used the same transfer to create this darling little pillow. And this little house that you see inside here was actually from the transfer of the month previous. So again, you can totally mix and match, right? If you have any questions or if you want to know more about Club, just go ahead and type Club in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. But I am hoping you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for being a part and joining me here. And if you need anything whatsoever and you're not currently working with a designer, I'd love it if you would allow me to become your designer, and definitely check out all the offerings we have on our Chalk Couture website, chalkcouture.com/Timmy, T-I-M-I, that's me. So that's it, everybody. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Bye.